sit with my buddy Nick here. We're hanging out on this comfy couch in Ironton, Ohio. So Nick, what's your story?
Well, started out, rough childhood. Growing up, my father was a little bit abusive growing up in the home. When I became a teenager, I started turning to alcohol. And the alcohol, I kind of used that for my mental health. I had a lot of trauma from my childhood. And I had some mental health issues. And it felt like the alcohol kind of quieted that down, that noise in my head. And those unpleasant experiences. And throughout my life, I kind of turned to drinking more and more as I progressed. And, for the longest time, I was a functioning alcoholic. I had a normal life, had a normal job, was a father. I'm a father. And everything was, really went good until it didn't. The alcohol sort of took over. And next thing I know, I started losing credibility at my job. I lost trust with my family. I ended up losing my job. I lost my home. I lost my vehicle. Any possessions I had, I lost due to drinking. And drinking really kind of took over my life. And it was really, really hard. I decided to seek out treatment and see if I could, do something to deal with the situation and do something other than drinking, because the drinking was just completely destroying my life. And so I came here to Cardinal, and it's they've helped me get my mental health in order. They've helped me learn how to cope without alcohol, and to find different outlets for my thoughts. And have the staff's been very, very good to me. I guess when I was little, I suffered from some auditory hallucinations. I guess I was diagnosed with schizoaffective disorder, and that was really hard. I didn't get that diagnosis until this year. It turned out I had schizoaffective disorder and post-traumatic stress disorder, and major depressive disorder. And I guess I didn't know for all those years that I had, these mental health problems. I knew something was wrong. And I guess I felt like drinking would it seemed to make everything right for me. I thought that the drinking, could help me get life back to normal. And the drinking obviously wasn't the answer. It was slowly kind of destroying my life. But life has kind of a funny way of working. It really, it sneaks up on you. You can do something for so long and think that, as long as you have the alcohol, that you can cope. But for me, it was just tearing my life apart.
And so you're using alcohol as self-medication when you had undiagnosed conditions like schizoaffective disorder and PTSD. How does it feel now to know, to have your life back on track, and to know you're treating things appropriately, and you're diagnosed properly, you're in a program?
It feels good to have my mental health in order. Now I'm on medication. Now I seek out professional help, and I get to talk about my problems. I don't feel overwhelmed. I'm treating the problem and not trying to create my own solutions, but I'm finding the appropriate solutions, and I'm doing the right thing by getting my mental health in order. Well, as long as I found out that taking care of my mental health is a big part of it, because if you don't take care of your mental health, then you're gonna turn to substances. You're gonna turn to using things to kind of quiet that pain and whatever makes you feel like you're hurting inside, or whatever is going on with your mental health. And
Mm.
you find out when you know, get the mental health and you start taking your medication and you start showing up to appointments and you got doctors that can treat you, like it makes you feel more confident in yourself, and you can start
Mm.
making some really positive changes in your life.
So rewind back to that point where you lost everything and you decided to seek treatment. What happened there and what caused you to want to seek treatment?
Well, last year, 2023, my father passed away, and then my mother passed away. Um, they had been in the home with me. I'd been taking care of them, and I had a whole family, home health aides coming in, and they were, you know, helping take care of my mother. Of course, I was, you know, working, doing what I can to take care of my family, and you know, my son was in the house, and you know, we had family. Of course, you know, mom and dad had their health challenges, but my father suffered from Alzheimer's. My mother was bedbound. She suffered from lupus. Both of them had heart conditions. Um, but you know, I was still running the household and keeping everything together. When my father passed, and then my mother in the same year, it really, things just took a turn for the worse. I started drinking more and more. I ended up being unreliable at my place of work, my job. I ended up losing my job. Instead of going out and seeking active employment, I um I ended up just going and buying more alcohol. The alcohol, it it kept me from seeking out more work and being productive. I just wanted to spend all my time drinking with my grief, and the next thing I know, I started being delinquent on house payments,
Mm.
and I started not paying my bills. All my money was going to drinking. Next thing I knew, I had all these bills to pay, so I started selling my possessions. I started selling my vehicles, anything I could keep the lights on for a little bit longer so I could still drink. Eventually, it got to the point where I exhausted all my resources. I exhausted all my money. Um, I had nothing else left to sell. Um, my child, my son, and my family was that I have left was begging me to change, and I just the years of drinking had just gotten to this point to where the drinking had took over. It took over my entire life. It was what I lived to do, was to sit and drink, and I wasn't living life. I wasn't engaging with my family. I had shut away my loved ones and the people I care about. And here I was in this kind of deep, dark depression, losing my home, losing the electric being cut off, um, you know, not having a Christmas for my son. I mean, it was horrible, and I have a lot of regrets for the things I did when I drank. Um, and then eventually it came to the point to where I had nowhere to turn to, and I had nowhere to go. I had to seek help.
And how did you come into Cardinal?
Um, Cardinal, I had tried another treatment center prior to that, to Cardinal, and it just wasn't for me. It didn't feel like the people really put the time or the effort or the care into treating me. It seemed like I was just a number, and they were going through the motions. I come to Cardinal, and the staff are very friendly. They feel like they care about me, and they do care about me. It's some of the most wonderful people I've met. They really go the extra mile to make sure you feel like you matter, and I really appreciate that.
Amen. Nick, what would you say to other people who were in your deep, dark situation a year ago? What kind of hope can you give them?
I would say that the struggle is hard, but you have to find faith in your higher power. You you have to try. You have to um, get your mental health in order and reach out to people. If you don't reach out, you won't get the help. But if you do reach out, eventually you can find people that are willing to help you and to help you get your life back in order. That'll help you get with your housing, get a job, get you stable. I mean, Cardinal does so much more than just treat the person. They look at what does the person need, and they take that and then they try to help you along the way, and to they try to help you along the way to kind of to get to where you need to be. Um, in the next couple of days, I'll be going for my CDCA, which I'm very proud of.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
How long have you been sober?
I've been sober. Today is the 3rd, I believe. I've been sober. Let's see. It's been almost 9 months.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Really appreciate you, Nick, for sharing.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.